This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium-quality travel gear like the Taskin Denali 4-wheel carry-on, featuring a sleek, jet black exterior, distinctive matte finish, exceptionally smooth rubberized wheels, and compact, lightweight form factor. Taskin Denali is one of the most stylish and versatile carry-ons anywhere. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
Mark Zuckerberg sends in the clone, mastering the new LinkedIn algorithm for fun and profit. How Steph Curry's Moonshot won Creative Data Campaign of the Year, plus a whole lot more. So slap our Wi-Fi and call us connected, Skippy, because you're just in time for Rick and Rick Rule the World, the podcast on brand innovation at the intersection of marketing, media, tech, and pop culture. And it all starts right here, right now, on the one show where everybody's name is Rick, and everybody rules the world.
Welcome to Rick and Rick Rule the World. I'm Rick Matheson, and I am joined, as always, by my good pal, Rick Wooten, who apparently finally saw Weapons.
That's right. You know, didn't you see it in the theater?
I saw it in the theater, yes.
Yeah, and I don't think I've talked to you since I watched it. And I have to say, it was definitely an interesting watch. There was definitely some high points in it, but my overall opinion was kind of meh.
Yeah.
It kind of fell flat in the second half. I thought it was all right, but, you know, I don't think I would be rushing to watch it again.
No. And there was talk of a prequel movie coming out. And I was like, okay, of all the movies we don't need, it's a prequel to Weapons.
Oh, 100%.
In fact, that was on my most anticipated movies list last year. And once again, turned out to be a situation where I ended up not really liking the movie. Yeah, I felt like, okay, and spoiler alert, folks, by the time they got to the floating AK-47 in the sky, I was like, okay, don't hit us over the head with the metaphors here. But then, you know, Amy Madigan, she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in that. And I felt like she was over the top. No offense to her. I'm glad she got an Oscar for something, but I felt like the ending of it was farcical. I mean, the audience that I was with, we were cracking up. It was just dumb.
Yeah, it definitely got a little silly. And again, spoiler alerts, you know, the whole chase scene through the houses, busting through windows was just it was a bit much. It was a bit much.
Unintentionally funny.
Yeah. But, you know, it was weird because it was like a funny moment in a movie he didn't have any other funny moments.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a great setup. There are great performances in it, but somehow went sideways and never really recovered.
Yeah. I will say it did give me the chills a couple of times. Like the first time we went into the basement and saw the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one gave me chills. That was actually done pretty well.
And to be fair to the movie, it's got a 95% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So, you know,
amazing.
We may be outliers in that. Just I did not love it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But what we know will give you chills in a good way is our gloriously unhinged lineup, including Steph Curry's Moonshot, Mark Zuckerberg deciding to bring in the clones, Star Trek's 60th anniversary entering a wormhole, and all the loaded questions your nervous system can handle. First up, Star Trek at 60. So this is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. Star Trek first hit TV screens in September of 1966. So the anniversary was supposed to be a victory lap, but instead it's starting to come off like a funeral. You know, after Starfleet Academy got canceled almost immediately, like they'd already filmed season 2, but then canceled it before the first season was over. The franchise suddenly has no new TV shows in the pipeline for the first time in more than a decade.
Oh, interesting.
WinterIsComing.net reports that Paramount has confirmed that Star Trek will now shift to movies. I guess this was at CinemaCon, including one reportedly from the director of the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. And apparently this movie is nothing to do with the Kelvin timeline. That is gone. Will not be any of the J.J. Abrams era cast coming back. And this new movie is also reportedly different than the original timeline, too. This is really kind of a bummer for Star Trek fans. Have you seen the story? They're selling off like the set pieces and memorabilia from the shows. I mean, they're like, those TV shows are gone.
Yeah, I heard they tore down the sets and, you know, they've just gone really hard at you know, kind of undoing it, which surprised me how quickly they did it. I wouldn't have expected it to happen so quickly, but I guess that means they're really committed.
Yeah. Well, there's a backstory. Screen Rant and others, they've noted the backlash against the show's inclusiveness and the sort of rightward tilt of the current culture at Paramount under the son of billionaire Trump backer Larry Ellison could reshape or just ruin what Star Trek even is in whatever form it comes back. It's hard to imagine that people of that ilk would be sympathetic with a show that has been boldly woke since the Johnson administration.
But I do have to say, I think this is kind of a thing that we're seeing overall. I don't know if you remember when South Park came out. We called it politically correct at the time. We were overly politically correct, and it kind of marked the transition of us to a less politically correct culture. And so there was kind of a swing back, and then again we swung back to being politically correct. And I think we're kind of at that inflection point again, where we're kind of going back the other direction. Hopefully, we don't go too far, but I think this and what we saw around Marvel is a pretty good hint that maybe people are a little bit fatigued on it.
Maybe, but Star Trek isn't just politically correct. It is also fundamentally woke. I know a lot of people mistakenly think that they're the same thing, but they're not. Political correctness is about avoiding language or stereotypes that are, insulting to groups or people, and also just representation. Woke is seeing social injustice and addressing how society can and should do better. Star Trek, the original series, it took on racism, war, and discrimination. From day one. Part of the Vulcan philosophy was infinite diversity in infinite combinations, or something like that. This whole idea that a true meritocracy requires diversity. So, Star Trek has always been politically correct, yeah, but more importantly, it's always been what today we would call woke. And from the original series through all of its spin-off movies and TV shows, wokeness has always been the warp engine that Star Trek runs on. So to your point, hopefully the pendulum will somehow miraculously swing back. But in the meantime, Star Trek at 60 is feeling like a franchise that just got blasted by a whole lot of photon torpedoes. When we come back after the short break, it's time for the good, the bad, and the marketing, including the news about Tim Cook's departure, at least as CEO of Apple. So stay tuned.
This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30. At TaskinSF.com.
And welcome back to Rick and Rick Rule the World. Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten. And it is time for the good, bad, and the marketing, starting with the Tim Cook era coming to an end. So this is one of the biggest tech handoffs in, exactly 15 years. Tim Cook is stepping down as Apple CEO this September and moving upstairs to executive chairman. That's kind of a big deal. Part of me, kind of had to replay in my head, Rick, the handoff from Steve Jobs to Tim Cook, 15 years ago. Obviously, Steve chose well. Some people may argue otherwise, but it's been a 15-year run and Apple has had its misses, but in the main, it's hits. So This is a big deal.
Yeah. And just to put a number to that, I looked it up because I was curious. Revenue in the last 15 years has gone up 4x. And the market share is now in the trillions, right? I think they were one of the first company to hit the trillions with a market cap.
Yeah, it was roughly $350 billion market cap when he took over, and today stands at $4 trillion.
Isn't that amazing?
It is incredible. Some have said, hey, he kind of missed the ball with AI, but there have been enough hits. It continues to be the benchmark for the entire industry.
Yeah.
Cook is being succeeded by John Turnus, an executive on the hardware side of things. And Rick, it's interesting that he's coming from hardware versus, say, services or OS.
So I kind of wondered the same thing. So I looked it up, and Cook actually joined Apple in 1998, right? And he took over for Steve Jobs in 2011.
Yeah.
Last 15 years, like you said. However, Turnus is not much later. I think he started right around 2000, and he's been there for 20 years, more than 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
And he's worked his way up the rank. He worked with Jobs. He worked with Cook. He's been, a big part of the story and how they got to where they are. So I feel like there's probably the opportunity for Cook to have been mentoring him and kind of leading him in the way. And honestly, I think if they're going to hand it off to anyone, the best case scenario is you hand it off to somebody who's been in the organization, especially somebody who's been in the organization that long. It reminds me a little bit of what happened with Microsoft a while ago. I don't remember the new CEO's name, but I believe he came out of the technical side as well, and he's actually done very well for them.
Yeah, Satya Nadella. Well, when you think about it, with Turnus and Cook joining in the 90s and 2000, Steve Jobs had only been back at Apple since 1996. So they were part of that big wave when Apple started getting its mojo back. And the fact that they have been a long time, and I would imagine Cook has been mentoring Turnus on making the transition. And it's not like Cook is going away. I mean, he's becoming executive chairman, so he'll be on hand.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm hoping for the best. And I think Cook can close out his time as CEO feeling pretty good.
I agree. I think that I've never really seen Cook as that inspirational, directional person like I did Steve. But at the end of the day, the results net out, and he's been a very undramatic, leader of the organization, fairly quiet. I mean, almost invisible at times, and has done apparently an amazing job. So I'm not too worried, especially because if you look across Apple's portfolio in the past, they certainly weren't the first ones with the high resolution cameras, and they weren't the first ones with the high resolution screens, and they weren't the first ones with the wireless charging. They were the ones that did it well.
Yeah, Apple rarely innovates, it perfects.
That's right. So anyways, I'm excited about this transition. It'll be interesting to see where they go next. Let's see what this guy can do.
For all the AI breakthroughs that nobody asked for and nobody wanted, Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg appears to have looked in the mirror and decided what the world needs now is another Mark Zuckerberg in the form of an AI clone. This is according to 3DF News. Meta's building a digital Zuck trained on his voice, expressions, and thinking so that 79,000 employees at Meta can basically get boss mode on demand. Quote, the digital clone is no ordinary avatar. It mirrors Zuckerberg's facial expressions, tone of voice, and signature phrasing, then layers on insights drawn from his strategic calls and internal notes. Any employee can interact with the replica, turning distance into proximity, which is probably pretty good because it sounds like the flesh and blood Zuck, if there is a flesh and blood Zuck, is pretty hard to get a hold of. So, yeah.
This one's a little weird.
You think?
Yeah, I did some searching on this one. It's like, what are they trying to do with this? Like, I was really, really scratching my head. Have they come up with some new technology and they're trying to just find ways for people to do it, or what? Are they trying to replace the people who work there? That's actually what I wondered. Is this their first step in replacing the humans with chatbots effectively? I just don't quite get this one. I feel like they're trying to flex and show the technology, but I don't think I necessarily want to talk to as an example, an AI HR person. I'd rather just talk to somebody real. So I don't know. I don't know about this one.
No, I'm with you. It seems like the things that you hear about with people sort of cloning themselves before someone passes away or something. But the nearest analog I can think of is longtime listener Paul had mentioned this. He has this fitness guru that he likes, guy who writes a lot of books about fitness stuff. And so Paul cloned him, essentially, took all his books and created a chatbot so that he could ask it questions about his workout regimen and diet and that kind of thing without having to go back to the books. And this does make some sense. If you can't reach the CEO all the time, being able to ask his advice or whatnot based on, I guess, the algorithm's understanding of his, what did they call it, strategic calls and internal notes.
Right.
I'm totally skeptical that would work well in this case for real-time business decisions. It may be a first glimpse of where this might go someday, but it just seems super creepy and overhyped.
Yeah, I think so too. I think again, this is them trying to show off a piece of tech versus having a real use case. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
We'll see. Random House is shooting for the moon to promote Steph Curry's new book. So Random House's campaign for Steph Curry's new book included one of those rare ad ideas that is both, dead simple and genuinely cool. A physical nighttime billboard in Los Angeles showing Steph mid-shot with the rising full moon perfectly lined up as the basketball, the actual moon. as the basketball. So they literally went and figured out that there was going to be a full moon in certain retrograde or whatever during this campaign. And they built the billboard to match it in real time. So fans could catch it live, shoot photos of it, and share it on social media.
Wow.
And apparently, according to Ad Age anyway, the promotion generated 140 million impressions in the first 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
Followed by another 250 million after Curry and Justin Bieber shared it on their social media accounts. And the kicker is that Known and Random House drove such significant attention without using any paid media and for a budget, get this, Rick, of $15,000.
Whoa.
It won the Creative Data Campaign of the Year in Ad Age's Creativity Awards on April 20th. So congrats to Random House and Steph Curry. I just love this kind of thing.
Yeah, huge congrats. That's a crazy.
I have to see the book sales, but it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
KFC UK wants you to show off some big Dill energy. Nerdist is reporting that KFC UK is promoting its new pickle-heavy, quote, Pickle Mania menu with what may be the most gloriously unnecessary piece of branded merch I have ever seen. It's a translucent puffer jacket filled with actual pickle slices and pickle juice, complete with a built-in hose so you can literally drink it from the Coke. What the F?
I don't know, man. You know,
It looks as ridiculous as that sounds, folks.
I gotta give it up for them. I mean, one of the brands who always does these crazy stunts like this and comes up with ridiculous stuff is Burger King. And for once, I think KFC out Burger King with the pickle jacket. I mean, this was just so ridiculous and it's so much fun.
Yeah, to be honest with you, this almost made this episode's loaded questions, but I had to check the date of the story, Rick, to make sure this wasn't an April Fool's joke. And sadly, it is not. This is real.
Yeah, no. I checked the same thing.
Man. So folks, you got to look this up. It's really a thing.
Would you wear it though?
Oh, hell no.
I think I might wear it to like a family thing just to prank everybody, but not to be that guy. But you know, it looks like it's made out of plastic and it doesn't breathe, so it's going to be all sweaty and sticky within moments. So there's a whole bunch of yuckiness in this.
Now, dill pickle fans, hey, they may love it.
Exactly.
What we know you're going to love is our next segment because it is time to play loaded questions. So don't go anywhere.
This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium-quality travel gear, like the Taskin Denali 4-wheel carry-on, featuring a sleek, jet black exterior, distinctive matte finish, exceptionally smooth rubberized wheels, and compact, lightweight form factor. Taskin Denali is one of the most stylish and versatile carry-ons anywhere. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
And welcome back to Rick and Rick Rule the World. Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten. And it's time to play Loaded Questions. This is our multiple choice quiz game to test your knowledge of recent happenings at the intersection of marketing, media, tech, and pop culture. Rick, are you ready to play Loaded Questions?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. First question. According to social marketers, LinkedIn's new algorithm now prioritizes A, snacking after 3, B, post saves, C, post comments, or D, Post Malone. According to social marketers, LinkedIn's new algorithm prioritizes what?
I think it's post comments.
Oh, in this case, the answer is B, post save.
Interesting.
So according to top LinkedIn commenter Becca from LinkedIn and others, the LinkedIn engagement signals with the biggest impact are now 1, post saves, now ranked as one of the biggest signals that your content is valuable. Apparently, get this right, 1 save is more impactful than 10 likes. When you tell folks your new post is out, don't tell them to just like it, tell them to save it.
Interesting.
Number 2, private sends. So only you can see how many people privately send your posts, but that is another signal that it's of value. Now, shares, but with a twist. Sharing with your network demonstrates that content has broad appeal, but the key is to repost without a comment if you want to amplify the reach of a post. As for comments, they're good, but they matter more when new people engage with a thread or post. Apparently, a new person commenting on your post has 5x more weight than a like from someone that, is regularly commenting on your posts.
Oh, interesting.
And lastly, reactions. So likes, laughs, and loves are nice for the poster, but almost irrelevant to the LinkedIn algorithm. Now, the biggest signal of all with the new LinkedIn algorithm, dwell time. So the amount of time someone spends on your post, reading, watching, and clicking, which frankly, that jives with other stats that I've been seeing, Rick, that longer posts are actually much better than shorter posts. So you want to go longer and meatier, keeping people on your post longer.
Okay, interesting. That's a change, though, because in the past, it's been 300 words or so was the longest you'd want to make it. That makes it sound like maybe you should go longer now.
Yes, that's what it suggests anyway. So B2B marketers post to LinkedIn, it's time to update your playbook, encouraging dwell time, post saves, private sends, and reposts without comments. So that's interesting stuff.
Very interesting. We'll see how that changes things.
All right, next question. A few episodes back, we reported on Liquid Death's Bluetooth-enabled Earn collab with Spotify. Now, the brand's latest collab announcement is A, Liquid Death and KFC deep fry the finger-licking thirst trap quencher. B, Liquid Death and Pepsi launch Pop It, Fizz It, and Flatline It ultra-caffeinated energy drink. C, Liquid Death and Pop-Tarts spill frosted strawberry-flavored Carnage iced tea. Or D, Liquid Death and LinkedIn launch the KPI Kill Shot B2B bird baster and barbecue set. Liquid Death has announced which of these new collabs.
I think it's Pop-Tart.
You are correct. Answer is C. So according to Ad Age, Liquid Death and Pop-Tarts US are blending the flavor of frosted strawberry toaster pastries into a canned black iced tea called Pop-Tarts Carnage. All right, last question. According to MediaPost, AI Discovery is forcing ad industry veterans to A, rethink their life choices, B, get shit-faced at the Cannes Lions, C, start each brief with, quote, optimized for SEO, but make it freaky, or D, pump out more press releases. According to MediaPost, AI Discovery is forcing the ad industry to do what?
I don't know this one, so I'm going to guess it's more press releases.
You are correct. Answer is D. So while the ad industry has long focused on getting attention in a crowded media environment, MediaPost and other sources are reporting that AI Discovery is forcing the ad industry to rethink earned media. So 3 factors are driving this change. 1, AI Discovery favors credible third-party sources. One study found that across 1 million AI-generated responses, 89% originated from earned media sources, underscoring the influence of journalist coverage in shaping how organizations and brands appear in AI answers. 2, visibility is shifting from clicks to citations. As more users turn to AI search, being referenced by AI systems may increasingly matter more than traditional search rankings. We've talked about this, both in terms of click-throughs and those who might never click through at all. And then 3, this is the big one, PR, search, and content strategy are converging. AI systems evaluate patterns across sources, so owned media, community commentary on sites like Quora and Reddit, and earned media will increasingly shape how brands are discovered and described and ultimately perceived. So earned authority is becoming a measurable signal in digital visibility. Now, I take all of that with a little bit of a grain of salt. I mean, so far, we haven't seen a huge migration to AI search yet. And 2, we don't know how it will evolve over time. 3, come on, Reddit should not be pulling from there. But I think in the main, the points are right.
That's a change as well, because a lot of companies are starting to walk away from PR for a while.
Yeah, getting that news coverage is going to be more and more important, at least credible news sources.
Yeah, kid. Insert joke here about credible news sources and what those actually are these days.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that Reddit, I think, is the most sourced community. Well, folks, let us know what you think about some of the marketing stories that we covered today. Our email address is rick@rickandrick.com. Until next time, keep on kicking ass and keep on coming back to the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.